He is a pharmacist by training, and he serves on the House Budget Committee and on the House Committee on Energy and Commerce, and he represents Georgia's 1st Congressional District. Buddy, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right. You've spoken out. In fact, I played a clip of your comments on the floor earlier today at the beginning of the program. And you were one of the first to speak out against the Biden administration on this. Tell us what they're trying to do.
Well, the Supreme Court has already said that abortion is not due to you because of the Constitution. The Constitution does not guarantee you an abortion. Well, now that simply says that you can't require a pharmacist to fill a prescription and say that the Constitution makes you do that. No, that's not what happens here. And yet the administration, they, as you say, want to sidestep this issue and want to say that a pharmacist has to fill a prescription, no matter what it's for, no matter what it's going to be for, no matter if the pharmacist has a moral objection to this or a conscious objection to it, that they have to fill this prescription. Well, that creates all kind of dilemmas, not the least of which it could put them in a situation where they have a choice between either violating federal law or violating state law. And of course, that no pharmacist wants to be in that position. I can tell you that this is not going to go over well with the pharmacy community at all.
Well, Congressman, there's also an issue here of rights of conscience, because what we're talking about specifically are abortion drugs. We're talking about abortifacients. We're talking about those drugs that would cause an abortion. And the administration now leaning very heavily on these chemical abortions, which are already about 52%, 54% of the abortions performed in the latest numbers. They want to expand that, and they want you to be their pusher.
That's exactly right. And look, when I was in the Georgia State Legislature, we passed legislation. In fact, I sponsored this legislation that would say that a pharmacist cannot be fired by a company simply because they object to filling a prescription because of moral objections to that or of conscious objections. And specifically what we were talking about, of course, were abortion pills. And as a practicing pharmacist myself, I never would fill a prescription if I knew it was going to be used for an abortion. We didn't even carry Plan B in our pharmacies. As the owner of the pharmacy, I wouldn't allow that drug to be sold in my stores. So, the moral obligation that we feel, pharmacists are some of the most trusted healthcare professionals in America, the second most trusted healthcare professionals in America. And access to pharmacies, pharmacists are the most accessible healthcare professionals in America. 95% of all Americans live within 5 miles of a pharmacy. So to put these kind of restrictions on pharmacists to say that you have to do this is simply ludicrous and is obvious overreach. Whether they do it legislatively or whether the president does it by executive order, it's still wrong. And pharmacists are not going to tolerate this.
Well, and Buddy, you know that these pills can present danger to these women if they're not taken in the right way. There's not medical supervision. And what the administration is talking about is even sidestepping the medical personnel interacting with these mothers. And so that they
Absolutely.
Take these things and they don't even know what they're doing.
Well, that's a great point because they don't know what they're doing. And let's lay to rest the fact that some of these medications are used for legitimate reasons. There's no question about that. People are still going to be able to get those medications. They're still going to be able to get their arthritis medication if it's being used for arthritis. They're still going to be able to get the medications that they are written and prescribed for them if it's used for that purpose. However, no pharmacist, well, I shouldn't say no pharmacist, but a pharmacist should have the right to deny filling a prescription if they know that it's going to be used for an abortion and if they morally object to that.
Well, let me ask you this as well, because I'm very concerned about this, buddy, that we're going to see this used, these abortion pills, especially by mail that the administration's pushing for, to cover the tracks of sexual predators and those who abuse others, because these young girls, probably many of them minors, will never see a doctor or may not even see a pharmacist. It's going to be filled by their boyfriend or their handler.
That's exactly right. And therein lies another problem. I mean, here we have a situation that could present itself where, there are side effects to these medications. There's no question about it. I mean, this is very serious. When you take one of these medications in order to have it abort a child, I mean, excessive bleeding, all of the things that could go into this. That's why you've got to have healthcare professionals administering this. And that's why, as you say, and we know how easy it is and what a danger it is to get prescriptions over the internet. And that's what the administration, they're actually supporting this and actually proposing that people do this and encouraging them to do this. This is ludicrous.
It is. It absolutely is. And Congressman Buddy Carter, I want to thank you for bringing attention to this and speaking out so forcefully on the floor and trying to get a message to the president. I don't know that he'll hear it, but I appreciate you trying to do it.
Well, we're going to holler loud enough for him to hear it.
All right. Have a great weekend. Congressman
Thank you.